everybody, welcome back to another video. It is GZTV. I figured I'd get this video out because here in about 10-15 minutes I'm going to be leaving for class. But this might surprise you guys that you're seeing a movie review, but anytime there's not football on, I'm probably going to be watching a movie and reviewing it for you guys. So yesterday I watched the Terrifier movie. Because there's talks that there's a sequel coming to this movie, so I might as well just watch the first one. So, I'm trying to think of a movie to watch tonight. It's going to be a horror movie. I really like horror movies or action. It's going to be one of the two. We don't do a lot of comedies on this channel, although we have, so if you want to, I might start making playlists with like scary movie reviews, action movie reviews, yeah, so you guys can go check them out. But Terrifier, it's a very interesting movie, although it seems cliche, the concept of itself, of a killer clown going around killing people, serial killer clown. The look of the character is definitely different, and yeah, that's enough to have me hooked in. I saw this character, I saw the movie poster, I was like, okay, this looks kind of interesting, and I've seen people talk about it recently because of obviously the sequel coming out, so I figured I would give it a watch. I'm not sure what I'm going to watch tonight. I kind of want to see if I can find X on any streaming platform. I might watch that because that came out this year and it was a big hit, and Pearl obviously came out. So, yeah, let's get to the plot and then the reception. So, a man is watching a small TV where Monica Brown, a talk show host, interviews a severely disfigured woman who is the sole survivor of a massacre that took place the previous Halloween. So we kind of know what this is about, given it's about a killer clown. We know that the killer clown was involved with this. Brown mentions that the body of the killer known as Art, the clown, who is going to be the killer for this franchise, and this is a fairly new franchise. This movie came out 6 years ago, so he disappeared from the morgue, suggesting that he is still alive, and yeah, I don't know if that's foreshadowing to what happened to this movie. I'm still trying to figure out if this happened to this movie or the previous, like maybe they'll have a prelude, a prequel, whatever you call it. However, the disfigured woman insists that she saw him die. She's like, this guy's dead, there's no way he's still alive. So we learn that this guy's possibly superhuman, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'd rather it be just a mortal serial killer, so it's a little more realistic, but you can twist the boundaries when you're talking about movies. The man furiously kicks the TV, shattering the glass, and fills a garbage bag with bladed objects. And this is revealed to be Art the Clown, of course. A lot of jump scares in this movie. It's pretty suspenseful. I actually kind of liked the edge of your seat type of stuff with this movie. It did a pretty good job. Although, I will say this movie seems very low budget, very B-list, but still. Jump scares were pretty good. The gore was very fake, but it was still good. It reminded me of like an 80s slasher film. After the interview, Monica talks to her boyfriend on the phone and makes disparaging remarks about the interviewee because of her appearance, which it's going to be instant karma for her around the corner. After she hangs up, the disfigured woman who's been eavesdropping on her attacks Monica and gouges out her eyes, seemingly killing her, and laughs maniacally. So I'm not really sure who this person is supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be the girl with the baby doll we met later in the movie. I'm not really sure who it's supposed to be still. On Halloween night, two friends, Tara and Dawn, are pretty much the protagonists to the film. Obviously, it is the Terrifier's film, so he is the main antagonist, but these are like the two protagonists going into it. Leave a Halloween party and drunkenly wander back to Dawn's car, where they notice a strange man in a clown costume literally just staring at them. So he's like a stalker. He's like crushing on these women, I guess. The man, Art the Clown, follows them into a nearby pizzeria, so obviously you gotta get the spooks. It's Halloween. Maybe he's trying to do a prank, but at the same time, the way this guy looks, it doesn't seem like just a prank. He's a very scary looking clown. Like, this is probably the scariest design I've seen for a clown in a movie before. After a short time, the restaurant owner roughly escorts Art from the premises for smearing his own feces all over the bathroom wall. So this guy is sick. We see it firsthand. This guy's very demented. He's not a normal person. And we should know that because he's walking around with a clown costume. And I don't know if the characters in the beginning noticed, but his mouth is literally bloody. like he has, I don't know if it's fake blood or not, but he has like blood smeared all over his mouth and lips and stuff, and it's disgusting. He's a nasty looking clown. Very despicable nose as well. Very Gru looking nose. The girls discover that one of Dawn's car tires has been slashed, and Tara calls her sister Vicky to come pick them up. So there's obviously this suspenseful moment waiting for the person to pick them up where they're out stranded, where there's a killer clown on the loose. Well, they don't know he's a killer, but yeah. While waiting, Tara asks a pest control worker, Mike, who's actually played a somewhat big role in this movie, surprisingly, if she can enter the derelict apartment building he's working to use the restroom. This is a very shitty looking, creepy apartment, and it's going to be the landscape for the entire film, just to tell you that right now. Obviously, if you're watching this review, I'm going through the plot. Do not watch this. I would skip until you stop hearing me talk about the plot and you talk about the critical reception. This is a spoiler review. This is for people to kind of come together. I mean, I could make a spoiler-free review and let you guys know about stuff. Maybe I'll give you guys a spoiler-free review at the beginning of my review starting now. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow we can, like, talk about if you should watch the movie at the beginning, so you guys can just end the video if you haven't watched it. But yeah, while waiting, once inside, Tara encounters a deluded woman credited as Cat Person, which is kind of funny, but yeah, she's a cat person. She's a creepy cat lady, which is kind of stereotypical. Who believes the doll she carries is her infant child, and obviously it's a baby doll, so she looks kind of messed up in the head for that. Art returns to the pizzeria where he kills and mutilates the two workers before abducting Dawn, so the two girls don't realize this guy's out to kill them, but she gets kidnapped, and she doesn't know if he's going to kill her or not, but there's this, Tara's suspicions, who it really is the antagonist. Tara is really a big antagonist, and it's kind of interesting because the main character kind of changes throughout the movie. Like when one of the characters dies, the other character that's involved becomes the main character. But Tara was the main character for like probably half the movie. Tara soon encounters Art inside the apartment building, of course. She knew it was a weird looking apartment and disgusting and pretty much Terrifier's evil lair. He pursues her through the indoor mechanics garage and stabs her with a scalpel, so yeah, he is out to kill her. She finds out then and there. She tried to alert Mike, but Art drugs her. Like, Mike can't hear because he's like debugging the house and he's got like his pesticide stuff. She tries to, Tara awakens bound to a chair, and Art reveals Dawn suspended upside down from the ceiling. She is also like half naked, so yeah, this guy's sick in the head. He forces Tara to watch as he saws Dawn in half with a hacksaw, so yeah, it's very disgusting. It's probably one of the most disgusting parts of the movie, the way she died. I mean, I thought the news reporter dying in the beginning looked gross with like her eye like hanging down her face, but it's a very fake looking gore though, so I wasn't all that disgusted. Tara escapes, but Art draws a handgun and shoots her to death, so she dies. Both of the girls die. The cat lady witnesses this and begs Mike to call the police, like she's running up to the guy like, please, please, please. This guy's a killer. And I guess she didn't realize it. It's kind of it's a weird movie. I don't know. Some of the stuff doesn't make sense. Mike dismisses her as insane, but Art soon knocks him unconscious with a hammer, so he finds out firsthand that this guy did not come to play around. The cat lady discovers Art cradling her doll, like seeing some kindness in his heart for once. In a plea for the return of her child, she tries to show motherly compassion to Art by cradling him. And I say this is child because, think about it, it's a baby doll. He's cradling a baby doll. It's really weird. Vicky arrives to take Tara and Dawn home, but is lured into the basement by Art, of course. Of course she is. There she discovers what she believes is an injured Tara, but is actually Art, who had severely mutilated the cat lady and is wearing her scalp and breasts. So, it's fucking gross. Oh my god, it's nasty. Mike's coworker arrives looking for him, but is decapitated by Art, so he literally dies the second he gets on the scene. He's an extra character. I didn't expect anything different. Vicky escapes Art, but stops to grieve upon her finding her sister's corpse, so that was a mistake. Art then attacks her with a makeshift cat o' nine tails. It's like a chain thing with like blades on it, so he's like, like slashing her with it. It's like it's got like scissors on it and stuff. But Mike arrives suddenly and knocks Art unconscious, so he saves the day, pretty much. Unless the two flee and call 911, but before they can escape, Art appears and kills Mike, so Mike dies. So now all that is left is Art and Vicky, who's pretty much the main character now. Vicky retreats into a garage and Art rams through the door with a pickup truck, causing further injury to Vicky. She heard police sirens, so she thought police were going to come to save her, but it turns out it's Art running her over. As she lies helplessly, Art begins to eat her face, which is why his teeth are bloody in the movie poster. Police arrive, but Art shoots himself inside his mouth with a pistol before the officers can apprehend him. Obviously a very disturbing scene. It's a common trope, with serial killers and putting them in film. They commit their crimes and they kill themselves pretty much. So, did he kill himself though? Nope. We will find that soon. Art's body is taken to a morgue along with the bodies of his deceased victims. When the medical examiner unzips Art's body bag, Art reanimates and strangles him to death. So, I think Vicky died. I'm pretty sure she died. 1 year later, Vicky, that was Vicky. The girl was Vicky. Vicky is released from the hospital after rehabilitation from the injuries inflicted by Art. She was revealed to be the severely disfigured woman from the film's opening scene, and thus the events of the entire movie took place that previous year. That's what I thought. So it was Vicky. That's interesting. I kind of figured that. Her face got like eaten off and she needed like prosthetics, I'm pretty sure. Ugh. The film received mixed to positive reviews, 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.2 out of 10. The special effects, Thornton's portrayal as Terrifier were great. The dialogue, the acting, the lack of character development was definitely flawed. The performances of Kano and Corcoran, they are attractive leads and hold the attention. The film's balance of suspense and gore was great. The film was a subtext-free thrill and kill ride, which openly advertises the sheer senselessness and gratuity of all its on-screen cat-and-mouse deaths by numbers, and unapologetically pure genre entry, confronting and amusing us with all the sinister and masked vicariousness of the Halloween spirit. 8 out of 10 on Arrow in the Head. A very simple film, providing 84 minutes of stalking and slashing that occurs largely within the confines of one location, which is great. I love when they stay to one location. Leon directs the hell out of that simple scenario, though milking every possible bit of tension from each moment is a thrilling, brutal, gory 80s throwback that is pretty good. I mean, if you have a fondness for the same decade of films that this movie obviously holds in high regard, like this is definitely 80s inspired, like that's for sure. 6 out of 10 for Starburst. Presented as something of a throwback to horror B-movies of the 80s, Terrifier has far more style, both visually and audibly. Obviously, it's better shot as well than the average film of this nature. It's a surprisingly nice-looking film for a movie about a clown chopping people into pieces. Despite the unsparing gore, there's also plenty of atmosphere and annoying tension that's maintained all the way to the sequel, hinting climax, which we know a sequel's coming when he comes back alive and kills the Examiner. Rather than evolving the slasher film genre in different directions, Terrifier acts as a homage to the 1980s films of the subgenre, but with better special effects and higher production values. I don't think the special effects are necessarily better, but some of them still looked pretty good. Dawn's hacksaw death scene was kind of like Freddy Krueger's pursuit of Nancy Thomas, and the bathtub scene to Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, which I reviewed on this channel if you want to go watch that. There's definitely some detractors. I mean, some people felt that the film script lacked both clear protagonist and depth. Art the Clown has the potential to be a formidable, gruesome franchise horror character. He just needs more seasoning and cultivation, which maybe that is kind of true, but they still have a sequel to do this. Fairly mediocre slasher fare, which I don't think it's anything impressive, but I still enjoyed watching the movie. The film lacked some creativity. It still had tension. The film's storyline was definitely cliche a little bit. As a film, Terrifier aims high. Very disposable, though. I mean, there are a lot of movies of this kind, that is true. Once the credits roll, I haven't forgot this movie yet. I don't know. Some of these critics are weird, but